What's up, Eagles Nation? What's going on, NFL world? How you doing, division rivals? This is Steven Hyder with K-City Sports Channel, the sports channel where the cerebral NFL fan comes for about 10 minutes of daily content. Ooh, all right, guys, today's topic. As Aaron Rodgers once said, R-E-L-A-X, relax. Yes, guys, I saw the reports. I didn't even really want to make this video, to be honest with you guys, just because this time of year, you have to take everything that comes out and is reported with a grain of salt, guys. There's a lot of deception that happens at this time of year. Sometimes when it's not even deception, it's a lot of self-interest, right? Like, anytime something gets released that should be internal, you do have to wonder why. In that moment, you need to ask yourself, why now? Why release these things? Why release these statements now, right? And that's the thing, is that I'm not going to sit here and pretend to tell you guys that I completely understand the dynamics of why it was released. But I will say this. This is something I've commented to a few of you guys. Any king that needs to remind his subjects that he's a king is no king. So I tend to take this report with a bit of a grain of salt here. Like, I don't know. I don't know why Jeffrey Lurie would have this released. I can't tell you guys. I really don't know. I got some theories. I got some ideas to why it might have been done. But at the same time, guys, like it's difficult to really know. I mean, on one hand, if everyone keeps mocking you to take a quarterback, that kind of affects your ability to get up or move. You know what I'm saying? Like, people know what you're trying to do. So you might be trying to control the narrative there. I'm not saying that's what's going on, guys. I'm just saying that it makes sense. Another narrative simply could be that you want to send out a signal to the league that you're open for business at pick number 6, right? That you are willing, you know what, hey guys, we don't have 4 or 5 quarterbacks anywhere near the top 10 picks on our board. We got 2 guys or we got 3 guys. And we don't think we'll be in position to get those guys. So if you want one of these guys, we will do business with you at 6. That could be the other part of it, right? Say that, hey, if you want one of these guys, we could be your huckleberry. Come on in, talk to us. We'll crack a deal here, guys. That's a possibility. The part I don't understand is the aspects of trying to build around Jalen Hurts and that entire argument that was presented. Because if your argument is to get talents around the player, why say anything? How is that to your benefit? You get what I'm saying, guys? Like, wouldn't it be to your benefit to just, stay quiet? Why are you talking? Like, wouldn't you want people to think that you're going to go target a quarterback and then to get up ahead of you to go get said player so that way the board slides down to you? You get what I'm saying, guys? Like, some of this stuff doesn't make a ton of sense when you really break it down. Like, there seems to be something off between the messaging and the action. You get what I mean? Like, anytime I see that, guys, then little grain of salt, guys. Something's not right with the messaging. Looking at some of the stuff, guys, I'm going to do, after the draft, guys, like after free agency, after the draft, you know, I'll cover the undrafted rookie free agents we signed and stuff like that, but then I'm going to start going into player evaluations, like the roster. And I'll get around to that probably coming in May and in June, all right? But I've already started looking at some of these guys. And I can tell you, as I was breaking down film on Jalen Hurts, like I saw something on the Les Bowen thread. You know, Les Bowen was the one who started that with Chris Mortensen. I saw something that got reported there, and it was talking about the bad throw percentages of Jalen Hurts, right? It was talking about his on-target percentages and saying that basically in terms of bad throw percentages, he would have led the league if he qualified. He had over 26%, 26.7% bad throw percent. And then he only had a 60, let me see the exact numbers, guys, a 60.7% on-target throw, which would have been last out of all qualifying quarterbacks. So he would have beat out, you know, Drew Lock on both of those statistical categories. The issue is, I think you have to be careful with this because there's a lot of mitigating circumstances to evaluate, okay? I like to stick to more, what is the concept, okay? What is the coverage he was shown? And then what happened post-snap? Like, I like to stick to that, okay? Everything else is really difficult to make assessments on given the mitigating circumstances surrounding the player. What I will say is this. There is a particular play in Arizona that is bothering me because I went and I watched it. You go watch the concept, and the concept's pretty easy to understand, right? They're going to run a switch route concept, right? A switch route, okay? And it's meant to really get the ball out of Jalen Hurts' hands fast in this situation and to hit that player who's coming underneath, he's having the pick set for him on that switch route. The problem is that if you look at the design and the spacing that Doug put, right? Like, I thought the design was good. I just thought his spacing made no sense. He has, I think it's Miles Sanders or it's Boston Scott, it's the running back, is coming out of the backfield and he's running like a little hook route. The problem is the hook route is right in the same area as the switch route, which is bringing those underneath defenders right into the area. So he doesn't have a clean shot at the switch route to get the ball in his hands fast, to gain yardage there. When you look at these little wrinkles like that, guys, like, it's difficult. There are a lot of mitigating circumstances to get through, such as, you know what, you can even look at it and say, well, the play design was good, Gate. Yeah, play design was good. The actual execution and the actual spacing was horrible. Like, I'm sorry, but you put it way too congested. It needs to be better, guys. That's my point here, that there are things that when you really break down the film, it makes it a difficult evaluation to make because it's a very small sample size of 4 games. And I know some of it's 3.5. No, he come on, guys. He played over a quarter in Green Bay, and he got pulled a quarter early in Washington. It's 4 games. It's 16 quarters, basically. What I will say is this. This is a difficult assessment, and it's one of these things to where you hear reports, you know, like from people that you respect, right? I respect Jason Avant. He's talking about, like, in practice, what he saw was a young man that was able to really manipulate safety play. I mean, I would counter with a couple of things. Like, number one, when you do go look at his deep rate passing in college, he was quite good, to be fair. He was very good at the deep ball in college. He was. Like, it's verifiable. You can see it. I'll even link it for you so you can see it off of PFF. The problem is it didn't live up in the pros. And my problem is when you're talking about practice, like, by the time Jalen Hurts was taking first-team reps, like, what was our secondary, guys? So, like, who's he throwing the ball against? Like, you know what I mean? Like, is that really that impressive when you know the guys that he's actually throwing against? Like, I don't know that that's the greatest example of things, to say the least, right? Because in games, he showed he needed some more work. There's definitely, like I said, guys, he's got a great touch on fade routes, on go routes. Like, he's got really good touch on the football there. And I thought he showed a little bit with that, right? I don't think that, like, despite the fact that of the accuracy numbers that you see reported, despite the fact of the bad throw percentages you see reported, when I break down film of Jalen Hurts in those 4 games, it's not his accuracy that concerns me. I thought he was really accurate, actually. Yes, there's a few balls he would like to have back, but I'll give you another example in the Arizona game. I always tell you that if I judge arm strength, I like to see far hash throws. At one point, I thought he was definitely struggling to throw far hash throws, but then I saw a little glimpse of something, and I was like, hey, he's showing the ability to do it. It's just not consistent yet. And if you watch this throw here, guys, this is a far hash throw, and this is an NFL-level throw, guys. I mean, that is putting it in there. That is an NFL window you're throwing into, and it's a far hash throw. It measures your arm strength. To me, is that a greatly thrown ball? No, but it shows that he's got an adequate NFL-level arm, and he can make the read and get it there. He's accurate enough to do that. So, I mean, consistency, sure. If you're saying, like, yeah, how would you grade his consistency? He's got to be better. If you're judging, are there little moments on the film that you can pull from Jalen Hurts and say, like, hey, man, in spurts, you can really see, you know, the building blocks of what could be a pretty good quarterback. Sure, I don't know where to rank him yet, guys. I don't think that he's anywhere near should be in conversation of being a franchise quarterback yet, guys. I don't think he's displayed that yet on film. But I'm also, like, I'm not going to say that he can't be that either. Like, it's too early to make those kind of assessments, those kind of predictions on Jalen Hurts. My stance has always been, guys, I told you, very early in the process, I said I thought that Zach Wilson was a better prospect. I thought Trevor Lawrence was a better prospect. I thought that while I can make an argument that Justin Fields is a better prospect, I think we're talking about negligible differences in athletic ability, right? I do think Justin Fields is a little better, but it's not somebody I'm going to just go pick over. Like, if I'm going to redesign my offense into something that I know my coach hasn't really run a lot of, you know, basically spread, zone option concept stuff, then I might as well stick with the guy I got that I've seen executed. I was never huge on Fields, and I'm not saying the Eagles will or won't make that pick, guys. Please don't mistake anything I'm saying here. I'm just saying that if it was my call to make, I wouldn't do that there. That doesn't make any sense to me. And like I said, guys, I like Mac Jones. I think Mac Jones is a good scheme fit. No way I'm touching that dude anywhere near the 6th pick. The kid out of North Dakota State, I think that if you're only judging him in shorts, throwing the football, he's probably the best-looking prospect of all these guys. He's got natural abilities. But he's very limited. He doesn't have a lot of game experience. He didn't run a very complex offense, guys. Like, there's a lot to be concerned about there. So, I mean, to me, unless you have a situation where you can get a Zach Wilson, I was never in favor of it either. Because Trevor Lawrence is going number 1, guys. I mean, it seems unlikely at this point that the Jaguars are going to change their mind on that stance. So, I didn't have the 2 guys that I thought were worth taking those picks on. I didn't have them anywhere near that. That's why I'm more in favor of the deep prospect guys, right? That's why I'm a little mad that Kellen Mond is rising. Because if Kellen Mond could have been a 4th-round pick, which seems very unlikely now, that's a guy I would have loved to have had behind Jalen Hurts. The next guy I would bring up is like a Jamie Newman. I think Jamie Newman would be a very good guy to have behind Jalen Hurts. Brady White, I think, would be a good guy to have behind Jalen Hurts. Like Sam Ehlinger, I think you can look at a Sam Ehlinger as like a undrafted rookie free agent, or I think he's gonna get drafted at some point in this draft, but as a deep draft pick guy to bring in here, coach up, and then in the event that you have an injury, you have something like that kind of happen, you got a guy that potentially can operate your offense for a couple of games. I think that's where you're at right now, guys. That's where I'm at least in it, but I mean, ultimately, like I said, guys, I take everything I hear at this time of year with a grain of salt. That's just kind of how I approach everything. All right, guys. Don't forget, if you want to support the channel, links in the description to buy me a cup of coffee. Don't forget to like and comment, guys. That helps spike the algorithm. And also, if you're not subscribed, please consider hitting that subscription button, guys. It does a lot to help the content creators out here. And with that, guys, that's all I got for y'all today. I'll see y'all in the next video, man. And I really do appreciate y'all tuning in, guys. I'm sorry I was late to speak on this, but I didn't even really want to address it because I didn't really think it was that big a deal. But because of the attention it's getting, it almost feels like you kind of have to address this one, unfortunately. All right, y'all. Peace. I'm out of here.